evening and welcome to Comsewogue High School News. My name's Matt Schneider. Tonight's top story, we sent Paul Barone to find out what happened at the concert, which was hosted by CJ Ramone, part of the Ramones band.
Okay, so we're going to talk about influences. What influenced you to start in the punk genre?
I grew up doing mostly metal in the town where I played, where I'm from, Deer Park. Everybody was into metal, anybody who played, and that's how I came up. I came up playing metal. I'd never been in a punk band before the Ramones, so the Ramones is what inspired me to play punk.
Okay, now I want to talk about methods on how you're writing and what you do, the way you make your music. How do you go into it?
I don't really have like a set way of doing it. Sometimes I come up with a couple of words and a melody line. Sometimes it's like a cool riff. Other times I just have like a drum beat in my head that I really like. So I just kind of pluck ideas out of the air, like anything that kind of goes off in my head. Sometimes it's like another song, like I could hear almost like a melody in the background that isn't actually there, but it triggers something. So I use all different methods, but I'll usually sit down and whatever idea I have, little scrap of idea I have, I put down. I use my the voice recorder on my phone, and I'll put it down real quick, and then later on when I start actually composing, then I'll take those ideas and I'll build off of those.
Okay. Any particular groups that influenced you into being the artist you are today?
Probably my two biggest influences are the Ramones and Black Sabbath. Those are like the two bands that I most loved. But like later on, I really got into Iron Maiden and all of that type of stuff. It kind of shaped me as a player and whatnot. But that's mostly where my influences come from, like the real root.
Thanks, Paul. Have you ever wondered what's on your tray at Comsewogue? We sent Brendan Jensen to find out what's on your tray. Brendan?
School lunch. It's pretty good. It's not bad. It's all right. I like the paninis are good. I like the pizza's good. The fajitas are good, but they don't have those every day. They have those like every 3 weeks, which is annoying.
What's your favorite thing to eat for lunch?
Probably the pizza.
Pizza.
I like pizza.
I get a salad here and there. It's good when they have the taco meat.
Do you have any bad experience getting school lunch, or?
Sometimes they make you get like the fruits and stuff. I don't really eat that, so that's a pretty bad experience.
I'm not a fan of the sandwiches.
Dropped my lunch one time. That's really all.
Our next story, we sent Zach and Obana to interview Mr. Kingsley about this year's new SAT changes. Zach?
There's a lot of subtle differences, but the biggest differences have to do with there are only 4 multiple choices instead of 5. There's no penalty for guessing on the new SAT, so if you get one wrong, it doesn't hurt you. You don't have to leave any blank, which was annoying on the old one. The new SAT is at 1,600 points, like the old one used to be, instead of the 2,400 that it's been the last several years. And I'm not too familiar with the math, but I have heard that there's now trigonometry on the math section, and also a section where there's no calculator allowed.
The 2016 election is looking like it's going to be an all-time race for the White House. We sent Luna Khalil to find out what Comsewogue thinks about this year's election. Luna?
Thanks, Matt. I'm Luna Khalil, and I'm here at Comsewogue High School, roaming the halls and seeing what people think about the political campaign. Who's your favorite candidate?
Probably Bernie Sanders.
I would say Bernie Sanders.
Bernie Sanders. Yep.
I just said I really don't have a favorite candidate. I'm not a big fan of Bernie Sanders or Hillary Clinton, so I'm kind of leaning more towards like Cruz and Trump, even though Trump needs to watch what he says most of the time.
I don't have one. I don't. 'Cause I don't like any of the GOP members. The Democratic ones, they're better than nothing, but honestly right now there's nobody I can support. If I had to support somebody, it'd either be Hillary Clinton or Bernie Sanders, but I'm like stuck in between.
What do you think of this year's election?
Well, it's a very interesting election because there's a lot going on, okay? We have the Democrats who are coming off of an Obama presidency, an 8-year presidency that has been in some ways polarizing. And I feel that the Democrats are trying to offer up their best candidates. Hillary Clinton was a shoo-in 8 years ago. I don't know about now. That's my feeling on that. And Bernie Sanders, his socialist policies don't fit in with my ideas, but I understand why a lot of younger people think he's great.
What matters most to you when it comes to the president?
I think I need someone who's going to come in who can cooperate with both parties, who can get some legislation, originate some legislation and actually get it passed through Congress, and can work on both sides. That's what we need right now. We will be registering voting here at Comsewogue. Please register to vote, and you can vote in the next presidential election.
Here at Comsewogue, we have many interesting student teachers, but none more so than the one that Subika Jaffrey interviewed. Subika?
When did you start student teaching at Comsewogue, and do you like it so far?
I started teaching at the end of January, and yes, I love it.
What would you like to accomplish as a teacher?
As a teacher, a lot of things, but mainly you want to be able to serve as a positive example for your students.
Where would you like to teach?
Ideally, I would love to grow as much as possible here. But definitely on the island. Not opposed to going to the city, but we'll see.
To find out more about this year's volleyball tournament, I myself went down to interview Mr. DeMeo, co-commissioner of the volleyball tournament. We're here with Mr. DeMeo outside the Comsewogue gym, host of this year's volleyball tournament. Mr. DeMeo, just some thoughts about this year's tournament, and who do you think? You see all the gym periods. What team do you think has the opportunity to take it this year?
I think for the most part, each team has a pretty good chance at it. I don't think there's one particular team that's way stacked against the others. I think it should be pretty fair this year. I think it'll be a very interesting competition to see who comes out on top, and looking forward to see how it goes. I think everybody will enjoy it.
Well, I have heard some rumors about Period 6. I heard they kind of formed 2 super teams to try to get it done this year. But we'll see when I get out there.
Period 6 seems to be taking this pretty seriously. Yeah, they're trying to get they're definitely trying to get their all-star team together. But I'm sure other periods have a response to that, and I'm sure they'll give Period 6 a good fight. Period 6 better get stay on their A game. That's for sure.
Definitely. Last question. What about the volleyball tournament do you think brings Comsewogue together, in the gym? Because some people, aren't just big fans of gym. They don't want to participate. But then when volleyball comes along, you see kids showing up. You see kids at X time rooting on their friends. And so what do you think about this unit kind of brings everybody together?
That's the aspect of this unit that I enjoy the most. The fact that it is so widely accepted and enjoyed. Even the students that really aren't big phys ed fans, or even volleyball fans in particular, I think that social component, that camaraderie, so to speak, that cheering on your friends, or even just the kids in your own period, I think it, like I said, even kids that really aren't so much into this, it kind of gives them an element to get excited about as well. So I enjoy that part. Yeah.
Well, thank you. Any last words about the tournament this year? Anything you want to add?
No, Matt, just again, looking forward to it. I think as every year has been since I've been here, it's going to be fun and interesting, and I hope, as always, everybody enjoys it. I think it'll be great.
Our next report, we sent Edison Apollo to interview some of the security guards, the ones that you see walking around the school while you're cutting class. Edison?
So how did you get your security position here at Comsewogue?
Okay, I'm a retired police officer, New York City police officer. Retired, was for a couple years retired, and decided that I wanted to do security. I wanted to do security where I can more interact with kids. I was a youth officer when I was a police officer before when I was on the police department. So I have connected with kids and felt that this would be a good spot to do security in a school environment.
That's all we have for tonight's program. Signing off is Matt Schneider saying, stay safe, stay well, and stay classy, Comsewogue.